You are listening to Phone Eats First. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Phone Eats First. We have a very special guest here, a three-peat, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I was here for a group.
Yes, the group podcast in Austin.
Yes.
Just got really hot in here.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to our lovely podcast about romanticizing life and finding inspiration inside and outside of the kitchen.
Yay.
Caroline Wagner, if I didn't say your name.
Yes. I'm so excited to be back.
She still holds the number one spot of the most listened episode. Funny enough, episode number 2 of the podcast.
Yes.
If you haven't listened.
The reason why, but I mean, hey, the people just want more, so we'll see how this one goes. Maybe I'll beat my record.
Probably. I hope so. We need to get up there. But today's episode is going to be, well, first a little Austin update, since the people clearly love Austin.
Yes.
And then just about living alone in your 20s.
Yeah.
And then probably whatever else we chat about.
Yes. Sounds great.
But first, we'll do a little weekly report. So, what are you reading currently?
Reading, I know I'm a little behind the curve with everyone like obsessing about ACOTAR, but I'm first book, like literally chapter 3 of A Court of Thorns and Roses. So
buckle up.
Yes.
You have no idea what you're about to get into.
And I also saw like the 3rd book or something the other day at my friend Abby's apartment, and it is thick.
Those are, I was gonna I was gonna set the laptop on those books, but
I was like, I'm not that kind of reader, so I gotta get ready for oh man.
Well, that's like my Kindle right now with reading Throne of Glass. No idea.
You don't even know.
I don't want to know.
Honestly, that's probably better because once I get that thick one, I'm gonna just, I mean, hopefully they're as good as everyone says, because that's my main thing, but we'll see how it goes.
But you're also going to feel so accomplished because I read all of those on paperback and I was like,
that's true. It'll get me feel accomplished and back into the reading game, hopefully. So
you will. It'll change your life a little.
Yeah.
I'm on Assassin's Blade still of Throne of Glass. So it's like book 4 out of 8, 9. I don't really know.
Yes.
Okay. Eating or excited? Which one you feeling?
I'll do eating because I had your famous sourdough pancakes this morning and they were so good.
Yes.
We decided chocolate chips, bananas, and blueberries, so just the trifecta, and it was delish.
They were good. And then we went to yoga after, so we were worried about that, but I think
we had a good amount of time to
digest.
Yes. Reset, because otherwise I don't know how that would have gone.
I'll say eating. I have to shout out. We went to Standard Beer and Food last night for dinner.
That was very good.
And there's nothing better than just a smash burger and some tater tots.
So good.
And we had chips and guac as a little app. That was fine.
The buffalo fried chicken sandwich, which was bomb, also very good with some tots.
As always. All right, plan. What's going on in Carol's life?
Plan. Well, I'm here this weekend. Kind of tacked it on top of a work trip, so I'll be heading to Winston-Salem in the week. And then my next plan is from that work trip, I'm leaving to go to Phoenix to visit Michael, who now lives there full time. But I'm going for, my birthday is on Friday, so kind of also need to see him, but also for my birthday. And we're going to do probably hang around Scottsdale and all of that, but then do a day trip out to Sedona and do a hike and stuff.
Fun.
So
I want to go there.
That is my plan so far.
Good.
Yes, I'm excited.
I don't have any exciting plan at the moment, I don't think, which is great.
But it's also nice you're just just home.
I'm just
for
home.
A little bit, which is so good.
Enjoying Raleigh for once.
Yeah.
All right. Obsession. This one always stumps me if I don't have something that comes to mind.
I was thinking about this earlier. Let me think. Okay, well, I have a few things I feel like.
Oh, let's hear them all.
Well, one, because I'm just thinking about things that I do all the time, or just recently have been just in my routine of things that I just love. And the first couple kind of go together. So I would say watching just whenever I'm doing mundane task or if I'm cooking or whatever, is just putting on either my video podcasts or like YouTube videos that I like watch weekly. So one of them being whenever Wishbone Kitchen puts out her YouTube videos, she's always on there. So I'll put her on. Like, it's just so nice to have. I love watching a YouTube video while I'm cooking or doing something. So that, and then obviously Giggly Squad, like always throw that podcast on weekly.
Wait, do they have a video?
They do, but it's kind of delayed. I don't usually watch their
Okay.
video. They'll post it on YouTube, but not at the same time, I feel like. So I usually just listen to them. And then, but for Brooke and Connor Mega Podcast, I always watch that one on YouTube. So that's my obsession with that. And yeah, I feel like that's
Do you
it.
watch or listen to Phone Eats First?
I watch on Spotify.
Terrifying.
Yes, I love it.
You have me on your TV.
Yes.
Wait, are you gonna what? Well, we don't know what the outcome of this is gonna be because we're testing a new method here.
Yes, we'll see how it goes. But yes, no, well, whenever it's me speaking, that's a little bit scary. We'll see if I can last through that.
Emily's never listened to an episode that she's on.
Oh, that's wild.
I don't think.
I mean, I think I did listen to the one I was on, and I listened to the one for sure that like Emily and Price and I were on, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yes, I always put you on my TV and listen and watch while I'm like cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I get to see you, like
I know
you're like with
Jump
me,
scare.
so we're like kind of hanging out. So
I know Nicole sent me a like 10-minute voice message the other week, and I was just like, is this what it feels like to have me have a podcast?
Yes.
And like as a friend, you just like have me in your ear, like, because she just went through so many different topics of conversation, and I was like, I loved every second of that. Like I listened to it again because I just like wanted to hear it again.
Yes, I know. I love. Well, that's another thing I'm obsessed with. Actually, is our
voice message.
Recently, we have been trying to not. It doesn't end up always being on Wednesdays, but we'll do a What's up Wednesday, like voice memo update, and it's kind of nice because we keep them like pretty short, so it's not like you feel like you're like,
unless me and mine are 8 minutes.
But no, like they're like manageable. So you're just like. We just each send kind of what we're up to for the week or the day and what's going on or what's coming up. And so it's a kind of a nice way to like actually keep in touch, because it is so hard to keep in touch with everyone like across the country just in the day-to-day busyness. So I have enjoyed that recently because that's been one of my things. I want to try to like keep up with people better and do a better job at it and see everyone.
It's crazy how many, like the week goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Well, because also, like you said, we send them late instead of all sending on Wednesday. So like, and also if you send it on a different day, you have to make up something similar to What's Up Wednesday.
Yeah.
My favorite was when Emily had Sexy Saturday, and you're like, love it, but it's Sunday.
Sexy Saturday. It is Sunday morning. But
I'm glad you had a Sexy Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. And then you're like, oh my God, what like have I done in a week? Or what do I actually have coming up?
Like goes by so quickly, and then I'm like, wait, I think I have fully just told y'all this exact story already, but it kind of blends together, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think I have a specific obsession. Ooh, I mean, not an obsession, but another food Raleigh shout out was Press, where we went yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That was
it's
really
like
good.
A crepe restaurant.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, because they had like the savory crepes and sweet and all the coffee and all the
a banana bread latte and a salted pistachio mocha latte was good. Our recipe. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
Recipe.
What are we gonna make for dinner?
Well, yeah, that too. We're gonna make. Well, I guess like I don't know. It's gonna be kind of like a. We'll figure it out.
I mean, chicken and rice, but
yeah, chicken rice, but do like a little seasoning on the chicken with a mushroom umami, whatever, and Brussels sprouts.
Forgot about those already.
Yeah,
rice.
So that'll be good. Other than that, recipes. Michael and I made a really good recipe the other week. It's like a spiced. I guess it was lamb and ground beef meatballs.
Whoa.
So the lamb just like added a lot of like extra flavor and moisture, because you know sometimes the meatballs can get kind of dry just depending how you do it. But it's kind of like an Indian style rice, I guess, with the different spices you use. So you'll make the rice in there and put the meatballs in with it to continue to cook while the rice is cooking. And that was so good because then you'll make a little yogurt, like cilantro dressing situation that you'll put on top of it. And it was really good. I'm going to make that again. He's been actually making it with chicken instead of like doing the whole meatball thing too, if you don't feel like doing that entire production of things.
We know I don't love meatballs.
But it, either way, the seasoning on it is really good. So I am planning to make that again eventually when I get back home for like a meal prep situation.
Love a meal prep situation.
Yes.
My recipe just came to mind. It's a soup that I made last week, which you tried.
Yes.
It's
oh my gosh, yeah, it was really good.
Creamy chicken and rice soup. It is the most simple, basic soup I've ever made, and it was really good and like hearty.
And it was just like comforting, like perfect cold weather, good soup.
The only thing is I will warn, the rice and the chicken absorb all of the broth and the cream, so then you're just left with like a mush.
You can definitely, like, if you wanted to make it back into a soup, you could re-add like
add
some
more
chicken
broth.
stock or broth or whatever.
But it was really good, and you just saute carrot, onion, celery, garlic, cook the chicken, add the broth, let the rice cook in the broth while it's just all simmering for like an hour, and it's easy peasy.
Love it.
Okay, tea treat.
I mean,
so many treats.
You know what it is every time I come here. No matter even though Austin has Whole Foods headquarters, I have to write them a letter because something's going on. Because Raleigh, North Carolina, seems to be the only place that has the Nutella croissants from Whole Foods, and they come in like a pre-packaged. It's not the type that you actually like have to cook and do in the oven. They're like ready to go from the bakery. Oh my god, they're so good.
We need to have that for dessert tonight.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like,
we've been neglecting them.
Do need to revisit. But yeah, that's like perfect treat for this weekend.
I'm gonna say the same.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the weekly report. Let's get into the episode. So first, I want you to give a little bit of a quick Austin update. What are your current favorite coffee shops? It could just be one, could be 5, and then like breakfast, lunch, dinner, just kind of restaurants that come to mind, or even like a bar that you've tried.
Okay, so I feel like, again, like I feel like I said this last time, but it's still the same, where Austin, it's just like every day there's just new everything. Like the food scene is just crazy, so it's so hard to keep up with it. But like East Side is like the hot spot to open everything now, because there's space and there's like cheaper rent than if you're trying to do it on like South Congress or something. So like there's stuff all the time over there. But right now for like coffee shops, I love, especially on the weekend, what I'll do is go over to like the Line Hotel, which has a coffee shop in it, but then they also have Veracruz Tacos, which is like, we'll do like breakfast tacos or whatever. And so we'll order the breakfast tacos, but then actually right across the street at the little fairground, it's like an office space, but it also has inside there's food stuff, but then on the outside they have the Desnudo food truck, or like coffee truck.
What that was called?
Yes. So that one, the original one, is on the East Side, so it was just like far away, so it was always kind of an excursion for me to get there, especially like weekends with how popular and busy the truck is. Like you would wait in line, but now they have, I think it's temporary, but they'll probably try to extend the lease. They have their second coffee truck on the outside of that. So what I'll do is I'll go to the Line and get like order the breakfast tacos, and then we'll go over and eat the tacos and grab coffee at Desnudo. And there's like a cute little kind of outdoor seating area like underneath big oak trees and stuff, and it's so nice. And right after that, so the Line is right along the river, so like perfect access to the trail. So I'll do that and then go and walk the trail. I have to add this one because Swedish Hill has always been in Austin, and they're expanding. They're a big location, and there's like an outdoor seating area, and it's just like such good food. And I mean, they have like pastries and coffee, but then they also have like kind of a deli case situation where you can like go and like pick different things, or get like chicken salad or egg salad, or you can get sandwiches and salads and stuff like that.
So all encompassing.
Yes, it's just like so good, and the little outdoor area is just so nice. Just it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to find like a good kind of outdoor spot just to like that feels big enough, but also just away from all the like busyness.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
oh yeah,
dinner
I
spot?
guess like I only hit the coffee because that's like what I do all the time. For dinner, let me think. Where have I recently went to, it was technically for work, but I went to the Peacock, that's in the Austin proper hotel.
Another hotel, man.
Yeah,
What's up?
but it's like a Mediterranean situation. It's very similar to Abba, which I also love in Austin. But Mediterranean food, and it was really good. It's just like a big kind of like share plate situation of like all sorts of different things. And that was really good. And recently I went to Codependent, which is always a good OG spot. Have a great espresso martini.
Love.
So
Anything else? Any other Austin updates? I don't know.
I feel like the same old, like Austin's great and I love it. There's always stuff to do. I actually saw the other day like the thing that they do in like LA and New York where they'll do the coffee DJ sessions where it's like
What?
It's like, so I know Price knows about this, but they do like, of course, instead of clubbing at night with alcohol and stuff, in the morning they like hop around to different coffee shops, but they'll do a DJ session. So it's like a full on like kind of club like DJ situation. And I saw that they're starting to do it in Austin. There's a few dates that I've posted of like different locations they're gonna go hop around to. So I think they start around like, I don't know, like 9 and go till like the afternoon or something.
That sounds
so
like
people just like vibe and get coffee and hang out and go, you know, listen to some fun music and hang out with each other. And
hopefully that happens when we're there in the spring.
Yes, for sure. So that's on my list for sure. But yeah, so other than that, everything's pretty much the same, but I'm just always looking out for new things to do and all of that. But I don't know, my day-to-day is very just love the trail, love like all of that. And then, yeah, I don't know.
Wonderful. Well, speaking of your day-to-day.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so you have lived alone. This is a topic that I haven't discussed, so we'll see.
Yes.
But you've lived alone now for almost a year.
Yes.
So tell us all the things. What made you first decide to live alone?
Yeah, it honestly just pretty much just worked out really well just with the timing of, so the first 2 years I was in Austin, I lived with a roommate and we stayed in the same apartment. So we didn't move in between that time. And since we had been in that apartment, I think we both just were under the agreement we were going to move regardless, whether it ended up being like, if we ended up moving together or going to a house or whatever, or just like separating. But it kind of worked out nicely where I think both of us, she is a nurse, and so, but she had gone back to school in that time frame, so she was doing online school on top of just like her crazy nursing schedule and stuff. And so I really didn't see her that much anyway. And I think just with her studying all the time too, it was just like she wanted to live alone, but I also wanted to live alone. Like it was just kind of like it, I don't know like why, or like there's no specific like, oh, I have to live alone. Like I definitely, it was also another thing of like, I either can go and find more people to live with, and I didn't really want to risk that again. So I was just kind of ready to have my own space, and it just kind of like worked out really well with like her also wanting to do the same thing, so it wasn't some like awkward like conversation or anything. We both were just like, oh yeah, I think we're good, like we're just both gonna move. And it's funny because we both moved like down the street from where we were, so she's like a block away from me, but yeah, so I just knew I was like, I could just find people, but also like if I was going to live with more people, I would probably want to go to a house, but that means finding more people than just one probably. So it was just like a whole thing. So just like also was kind of convenient, and I wasn't going to do it if like I was looking at places and it was just going to be like way out of budget. And so like, and knowing Austin with how it had been in the past of rent prices, I was like, I don't even know if I can at the moment. But I just got really lucky. Like when I was just started looking, like some places were just like ridiculously expensive, and but at the same time, I didn't want to like compromise on like, oh, I'm gonna go somewhere really far away that's cheaper, because then it just felt like, what's the point of even living in the city you want to live in if you're not actually there? Yeah. And I work downtown, so that's another issue. Like I would have had to, which not an issue, it's great that I work downtown, but it just would have been another factor of if I was like having to move so far away just for the fact of like getting cheaper rent. But then I got lucky and found I was regardless looking for a place that was less of like a big kind of corporate-y complex situation where I'm just like in the abyss of like 100 units in like the back of an apartment complex and can barely get there unless I go up an elevator. And
elevator hallway situation was insane.
Yeah, exactly. Like my other situation was already like going through a maze to get back from my parking garage to my apartment. So I was definitely already looking at some of those like walk-up units, and sometimes those can be like hit or miss sketchy, but
yours is perfect.
The one I found, like, it's an older complex, but they've done lots of renovations and just like made them nice, and it's just really nice to be able to just walk right up to my place, so it feels like my own space versus feeling like I'm just like in a huge complex. But it still has amenities. It has like a couple pools, it has my gym, it has like, it's just like well kept and like kind of like a nice quiet area. It goes like, when you turn into it, it kind of goes off of the main South Lamar area, so it's just nice. It's quiet, it's a good little area. So yeah, that was just kind of like, it just worked out. I got a really good deal on like the move-in. They were like offering a credit of however much, so I ended up getting like 2 months like free.
We love that.
And then the deal they were running on the unit, like it was just cheaper than everything I was seeing anyway, so it was just nice. And that was another requirement. I was like, I wanted to be able to get outside easily, but then I also wanted to have like a little balcony or like a door at least that could like,
you need access to the outside.
Yes, exactly. So I got all of those things and it was great. So
have there been any other misconceptions or just kind of like things you didn't realize about the cost of living alone?
Not really. I mean, I think I had definitely run all the options. Like, you definitely have to think about it because, you know, in the instance of Wi-Fi, I was splitting that with someone, which like is just nice to be able to split it with someone.
When you receive the bill and you're like, oh, I don't have someone to Venmo request.
Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. It's like, oh, you're not Venmoing for utilities and splitting. So like, I was a little bit nervous about that. I was like, I know the base price of my rent and I generally know how much utilities will be if I can estimate it, but it's just always like, it gets hot in Austin, so if there's like that month that it gets crazy, like it's never an issue, but it's just like, dang, I really do have to like take on this entire like place. But it is like only 1 bedroom, so it's not like you are paying for a place that's with 2 bedrooms to cover that amount of space. But I had kind of like thought through those things. And then other than that, like misconception wise, I don't know, you might ask about this, but just like people think that living alone means that you're going to be super lonely or like have a hard time like making plans and seeing people or whatever. But I feel like that's like a big misconception. Like I feel like if anything, it helps me, for at least my personality type, it helps me reset in a lot better way than what I could like otherwise. Like if I was coming home and there was still someone like in our apartment, I guess it just kind of like changes the flow of things and like the kitchen usage and just like different things that you don't, once you're living alone, you just don't worry about that. And I'm just like sitting on the couch and like not worrying like, oh, do I need to like make sure they can have space or just like different things like that.
But the part about making plans and stuff, do you almost find yourself, you have to be more intentional about making plans? So do you almost even like see that you are doing more social things because you're like, oh, I'm alone, and if I don't leave this apartment, like...
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely, regardless, even if I was living with someone, I think I could do a better job at like doing more social things just because of my nature of like liking my alone time and liking just like hanging out. But I think I don't feel like it would be, I didn't feel a major shift like between like living with someone versus like being alone. I mean, part of that was just like we both had different like kind of friend groups anyway.
You and your roommate weren't best friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it wasn't a major shift, but I mean, I definitely have to make sure I'm being intentional about it. But at the same time, I feel like what I would be doing anyway, the times that I have the normal work week, so I go to work and come back, and like that would be a normal time that I would be alone anyway. Like that's not like I wouldn't be making plans. Like sometimes I'll have plans where I'm like going and grabbing a drink or going and like doing like I don't know, like the How We Sweat little events or something like that. And that's sometimes during the week. But other than that, like when I would be making plans would be the weekend, just like I would anyway. So I just don't feel like it really changed much. So the times that I want to be alone are like, just like is a natural thing. Like I come home and I want to be alone and I want to cook and I want to just like do that anyway.
And if you want to do none of it, then you don't have to do any of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
How was it nice. Like furnishing or decorating, doing all that by yourself?
Well, I feel like I got lucky because I literally like had already furnished our college house just by default of like we just had a lot of extra stuff from like in our storage of our house, just like things that like we had gotten a new couch at one point, and then that couch we used to have we just kept because we were like, well, we'll probably need it, and I did. So like things like that, and like little side tables and stuff like that. And so I had already kind of furnished that, and then also have the benefit of being the youngest sibling. And so my brother and sister already, like my brother had a ton of like silverware and cooking things and dishes and just all sorts of like stuff for the kitchen that I just didn't have to restock. So it was kind of nice that I didn't have to start from scratch. It's not the best moving because then I just have so much stuff all the time. But
you're also saving, like, you're spending money to move,
because I have thought about stuff. Like, oh, do I just like, because no, it's not necessarily, it all like goes well together because it's all pretty like neutral, normal, whatever stuff. But like if I were to like redo anything at any time, like would it, like I don't think I would have the same style as what I like currently have, but like I still like what I have. And I've thought about like, oh, should I get new stuff to make it more me? Not that it's not me, but it's like if I wanted to just like change things up or whatever. So I've thought about that, but I'm also like, I might as well just like, if I do that, then I'm gonna want to get something really nice and gonna last for a while, and then I don't know. I'm like, I would rather do that maybe when I like have a house, so then I can like actually start from a like what is the full picture of what I want versus like, oh, I'm just gonna get this one thing for my tiny apartment and then like hope that it fits in the next space that I get to, but who knows, it might not. You can
also like just spice things up with decorations.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like change pillows or blankets or
and that's on my list. Like I'm gonna get new like throw pillows, and I've been wanting to do a gallery wall. That is like a challenge because I don't want to just get everything all at once from the same place. Like I want it to be an accumulation of different things, but then that means I don't have a gallery wall until I get those things, and I don't know when I would be getting those. Like I have like two things that I
think what you could get though is the frames.
Yeah.
Because if you can thrift and like just hang the frame with like the funny picture that's probably already in it, or like the ugly painting
and
that's
have
in
it like pre-planned out.
And then you can like know what size or kind of vibe you're looking for.
Which on that note, like that is like one fun thing about it is like I get to do whatever I want in my apartment, and like it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks because I get to do whatever I want because it's mine. And so that's always fun. Like, and I just get to, I'm obviously very type A and very like just a little bit too organized, so I love to have everything in the exact very specific right spot. And so I get to do that. I got to like, I mean, I did go a little crazy at first with like what? Wow.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. So it's just those little things where like the kitchen was fine, but it like, so from the other apartment I was in, like whenever you move to different places, things need to be like reorganized in a different way. Like they don't always work the way you had them before. So it's just like figuring that out, because the apartment I was in before was definitely one of those like newer, like kind of renovated-y, like modern places. So the cabinets were just generally larger and just more space, more everything, versus the older version, like the older types of apartments that had just have those like, it's the standard like small cabinets, little drawers, like not the big wide drawers, it's the small ones. And so like the dividers I had in the other ones, so it's like the dividers I had in the old drawers like didn't fit in the other, so things like that. But then also same thing with the my bathroom closet, and my bathroom in general was smaller moving to this new place, so I did go a little insane trying to organize the bathroom closet, just because it was like I was trying to get things that fit well, but with it being like an older closet, that just like things that are sold, like organizational pieces that are sold at like Target and things, are meant for like new places. The big new. Because that's what I found. I was like going crazy because this little like pull out drawer thing should have fit, but for whatever reason the closet is like a little bit angled, so like a piece of it like wasn't fitting in. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm gonna go insane. But I figured it out and it was fine. But
it's like, you know, my spice cabinet, like, you're never gonna find that in a house ever.
It's wild.
And it is kind of annoying because it's like
kind of nice though,
a waste of a pantry. But where else would we put all of that
the spices
stuff? I mean, nice. I'm a fan. I do want like,
and you get to like see all the spices, because I have to put the spices, like I have them all lined up right above my stove oven area, but then I have to do like a double layer. And don't worry, I tried to get one of those little like things that would turn around or stack. Doesn't fit, and it didn't fit. I don't know. It just, you know, I just left it.
You might need to like DIY like some like broken down Amazon boxes. And, like,
just some. It's fine though. Like for the stuff I use most often, it works, and I have it so I can see it. How
is it like? I mean, you've always been cooking for one, because it's not like you and Cameron would make dinner together, but just like having a kitchen to yourself.
Yeah, I do like that aspect of it, but I mean, in some ways I was lucky in the sense that Cameron and I had a very different schedule, but it is nice just to not feel like I'm in her way or like messing up someone's schedule if like she did need to do that. But I do like being able to just like, it's gotten me more into trying more recipes and things, because then I'm like actually able to just kind of like sit in there and
that's a good call out,
like figure it out
and make a mess and get out 15 pans and like leave cabinets open,
experiment more. But I feel like that's a nice aspect of it. But
what else have you loved about living alone?
Not to say that if you live with someone that you can't have alone time, obviously, like you very much can. But I think it's like learning to love being by yourself, or like enjoy, like genuinely enjoying the time you get to spend on your own. And so even if you do live with people, just like making sure you're taking time to do that, and not like, if you feel like, I don't know, like you can't be alone. Like I feel like that's like crazy.
It's like a red flag for yourself.
But I'm like, you just have to like learn. That's what I've liked about it, is like you just get to. I've always known I'm like in a recharge by being alone, and I like my alone time. But it's like gotten me to try to be like, let myself like enjoy it more, I guess, and like let myself relax and try to be like, oh, what would I really like to do right now, and like keep myself entertained, or like not that I like get bored easily, but like be in your own head more about like contemplating and being like, what would I like, what do I like, what is something that I would want to try to do, or
because
like
even the things as simple as like I don't watch TV, but my roommate will have the TV on and I'm like, oh, oh, I'll watch whatever
Yeah,
you're watching.
yeah.
Where it's like, I mean, I know what I would be doing otherwise, but it's just things that you don't realize. You just like join because someone else is doing, or, I mean, yes, you also get inspired living with someone because like we kind of make similar recipes, but sometimes she'll make something. I'm like,
Which
oh,
that's
like,
why it's definitely important to get some social time in. Like
Yeah.
I need to definitely do that. But yes, I think just like on that piece of it of like if you're constantly in a whirlwind of like being with people or being at work or and being social and being on top of things, your mind is just constantly going versus like just like chill for a sec and like let yourself like reset and be like, okay, outside of this like chaotic day I had, like what do I want to do now? Like, so I feel like that's like a nice piece of it, and I get to come home and just like yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that it sounds nice. I mean, I get to do that as well. And like, thankfully, because like we have a unique situation where my roommate and I work together.
Yes.
So we don't. There's no. How was your day? What'd you do at work?
Yeah, exactly.
How was your trip? Because we were together.
Y'all know.
So
you were there.
We like come home and just don't talk. Sometimes we talk. Sometimes we don't. But there's like no expectation of
yeah, and I think that's also a piece of it. Like everyone thinks that it would be so different, like living with people versus not. Like some people are like, oh, I'd be so scared or something.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, honestly, it's very the same because I think the times that you want to hang out with people, like you then go hang out with people or like you go out and be social with your roommate. Like that's what we would do when we all lived together senior year. Like we would all retreat to our bedrooms and then all come like either to your room or to the living room or something. So I feel like it I don't know, people think it's really different, but I think that I'm with people when I want to be with people, just like I would be otherwise. But it's just I have my own spot to be
to be alone.
Yeah.
And then touching more on the part about just like learning to be alone. How have you loved to be alone, or how has that like changed, or have you learned anything else about yourself like through this time period?
I think it's also interesting because I'm learning to be alone in a new way now because Michael just moved to Phoenix. So I know, so crazy. So I think, you know, when I first moved and was alone in my apartment, it was like I wasn't really, because like we would, if I knew I wanted to hang out or do something, like he's
in your back pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also very easy versus like a new friend or just like making plans with a friend, like you have to be very intentional about like, okay, does this work with your schedule, and does this work, and can we meet? Like it's just a lot more energy involved versus like a boyfriend who you're just like, oh,
come sit on my couch and watch me.
What are you doing
my
tonight?
house?
Like let's like make dinner together, or
even just like
watch
sleeping
the game
together.
or, just exactly.
No talking, just
so that was like very just like easy to do. And so now I think it has changed because in some ways it's nice because not that it's ever like, of course I would rather him be here, but it's also, since he's not, I'm able to just like try to take advantage of like, okay, what do I not normally, like what do I usually kind of like push off because I like just would prefer to obviously hang out with him. And so like it's almost like trying to, like I want to like develop the discipline again of like doing like just being sure that my Sundays I actually get like fully reset for the week versus like feeling a little bit chaotic on Monday if we like ended up hanging out like the whole day or something. So I think it's reteaching myself how to like do those types of things where otherwise I would have like maybe put it off a little bit or just not been so organized about it. So getting kind of like just like into a more consistent routine versus it being like, oh, well, this day he's coming over or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that now, so like just about the alone time piece of like what I enjoy, like I think aside from the like non-work to-dos of just like cleaning and all of those things, I'm like, I obviously enjoy like my little podcasts and things, and I'm trying to get into reading more, but then I'm also wanting to do more of, which I guess this isn't alone time, but like just like trying to be more intentional about like doing ClassPass or whatever, and like actually scheduling out those workouts and things like that. And
but it's like you have the ability to do,
yeah,
like,
just kind of like taking time to do those things and like kind of plan it out. And yeah, I think just being more intentional about my time in general. Oh, I'm gonna sit and scroll. I'm gonna like actually try to do something that feels
more
fulfilling.
Hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely more hobbies. I want to get more in tune with my like creative side, because of like it, when you stop like practicing it, it gets like harder and harder to do it. And like when you're so just like in the weeds of just the day to day of work, like your mind is not, it's very much like, what is it's like the left versus right side of your brain. So it's kind of hard to switch. And so that's actually something I'm trying to learn how to do more, is like doing the transition between work and my after work,
like literally turning your brain off,
literally. And that's like such a hard thing for me to do, is even if I'm done with work and done with my laptop, I will be like, my brain is not ready to stop. And so it just is always thinking about, oh, I need to do that tomorrow, or like,
do you write things down?
That. Yeah. Oh man, I'd have to dump everything off into somewhere, because otherwise, oh my god, I'd
but I
go
don't know if it's like,
yeah.
It's like I have my notepad right there, because like I have one everywhere.
Yeah, I have like a handwritten, then I have something on my iPad. I have like obviously the one that syncs and that I use for work, like that will be on my phone and my laptop and all of that. And so I just like, I do offload it all, so I know I'm not going to forget it. Like, don't worry. But it's just like,
it's not a matter of forgetting.
It's almost like the difference between, it's like the shift between, okay, I'm done with work, but my brain is still just like not ready to then shift into another like chore, but non-work chore. So like, I'm not really ready to, make dinner, or like, I'm not even really ready yet to go to the gym, or like, I'm just like, my brain's not ready to do that. So that's like a time where it's nice. I'm trying to figure out like what I want to do as
the leeway.
Yeah. How do I
honestly
switch?
I wonder if I would have the same issue if I didn't have a commute.
Yeah.
Because I have 45 minutes in the car. I don't think a single thought goes through my head.
I think like a long drive for me in traffic would be like 25 minutes. So on like when I don't leave at like a traffic time, which is not a lot, but like if I do, I mean, it's not very far. So yeah, but then even like if I try to do like, I'll listen to a podcast, like that's almost like listening to music and a podcast, like putting more stimulation. Yeah, it's just like that's what I was talking about the other day, is I want to try to like meditate or something, because I just want like this is just going to be a silent like 5 minutes even. Just like, this is going to be silent. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to like listen, because it just feels like you're in calls and meetings hearing pings from Teams or like,
I finally learned how to turn that ping off.
Yeah, it's just that. And then you go from that to like, or then you're like listening to music, or you're a podcast or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, I need
to like get home and like immediately walk.
Yeah.
But I can do, for me, a podcast and music helps me like just decompress. I mean, but sometimes it's like too much, and I just need like the silence.
That's what I'll find. Like I obviously love that as like when I'm cooking, it's like actually I like it, and so it makes it's like cooking isn't like a chore to do when I'm doing that.
That's like 99% of the reason I make dinner, so I can just like, that is my way of decompressing.
Exactly. But then if I'm trying to do something where like packing, for instance, for whatever reason, like if it's something where I'm going to be gone like I am now when I'm packing, it's like almost impossible for me to concentrate on what I'm doing if I have music or a podcast happening, because I want to listen to the podcast. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I can't let the podcast just be in my ears.
But I need to be thinking about what am I trying to pack?
You need like oh my gosh, jazz music.
Yeah, I know. I need to do that. Which I actually saw the House Chris girl that I follow that I really like. She has like a really bad ADHD, and I think she takes medication for it, but I'm obviously not doing that. But she said the other day one of the best like coping things for her to like get her like day started and stuff, which I'm gonna maybe try, is the first thing she does, so she doesn't get so sidetracked while she's getting ready, is she puts jazz music on, because or like
instrumental
music that either doesn't have words or has words she doesn't understand, so like other languages, like Latino, whatever, and she'll do that because it like is something to keep her brain occupied, because she has ADHD, but she's like not trying to like hear the words like a podcast where I'm like, oh, I actually want to listen to this.
No, podcasts have to be in the car or on a walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like a very easy dinner.
Yeah. Because if I'm actually trying to like have thought behind the thing I'm doing, then
there's so many times that I'm like starting a task when I like my brain just starts to get overwhelmed. I'm like thinking of all the things I want to do, and I'm like currently unloading the dishwasher, but then I'm like, oh, then I need to do this, and I need to go to the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, I really want to listen to music while I'm doing all this, but I'm currently so overstimulated in my brain that I can't turn the music on. But like if I turn the music on, I can just like
I'll get into
it'll take 2 seconds.
Yeah, literally, I'll get into that mode sometimes where I'll then stop and be like, oh my god, if I had like filmed what I had just done through my house for the past 10 minutes, like what the heck, like it'll be like
or see like your footprints in your house.
Yeah, and I like don't think I'm like ADHD, but it's the overstimulation thing where your mind is like, oh, I'm actually gonna do this, and then you're like trying to do that, but then you're like, oh, but I'm gonna go grab this real quick too, because that needs to come in here, and you're just like doing all these different things, and then you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's something like, I just need to have music on 24/7, and then I don't have a problem.
Yes, exactly.
But also back to the creativity, I wanted to like, because I figured this would maybe come up, but it came up kind of perfectly, and then we sidetracked, which is great. But about how, because we were saying last night how like, and I've talked about creativity on the podcast in a few different tidbits, but how, not that I've lived alone, but like I've just learned to be alone a lot since undergrad, and it's wonderful. I love it. But being alone has allowed me to kind of tap back into my creativity, which like, it's so crazy how when you're a kid, all you do is be imaginative, creative.
That's your whole job.
That's all you do. You get paid to do that. And then now there's no time for it, there's no space for it, there's no like, you don't know how. And like that's something which like for me it's a hobby, but also like I feel like any hobby can be considered creative. Yeah, no, definitely. Creative.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like podcasting is like a creative outlet. There's, you get to express yourself in some other form than just work. And then what would I do? I don't know. Yeah, so I think it can come in so many different ways.
Cooking.
For sure, yeah. I think it's going to almost feel like I'm forcing myself to be creative. Like it's not going to come naturally, but I would like to get back into that, because otherwise I'm just constantly thinking about, oh, I really need to do, like I really want to do that. Yeah. But then it like feels physically like difficult. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I like can't even.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes with this, it's not like it ever feels difficult, but just like it does feel like homework sometimes. Yeah. Where I'm like, oh, I really need to get an episode out. Yeah. Or like, Which is still annoying. I don't, horrible at editing.
Yeah, like I don't want it to turn into like because my life, the way I run my life, like same with you, like we do to-do lists, and like I've like talked to people about this where it's like, stop thinking about it like it's some like to-do list, like some terrible task I have to do. I want it to be
we need like a reminder we actually enjoy it.
Yeah, like this is a fun thing for you to enjoy.
I feel like this just actually gives me like just a purpose.
Too much pressure that I'm putting on myself for it. I'm like, for what?
But like, you can also view it even, because I don't think I'll ever, and you either will ever be able to not see something as a to-do list. Yeah. Even if it's something we genuinely enjoy, because we get that satisfaction from completing it. So it's even like we're always gonna have our work to-do list and like our fitness to-do list and our health and cooking and appointment to-do list.
Exactly.
Like, why not have a to-do list of the items we actually enjoy?
Yeah, because then you feel like a sense of accomplishment. Yeah. As long as you're not putting like so much pressure of like, oh man, I didn't get this done, so I suck. Like, dang. But yeah, I think it like has to be something where you're like, if I don't make it a priority on my list, like it's not going to happen. And you kind of have to turn it into like, until it becomes a natural thing that you like get in the groove for, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you don't love the editing piece, but you love the podcasting piece. So it's like a motivating factor.
And like releasing it and hearing about it and just knowing it's out
and so
there.
like as long as I start and then maybe find a groove of something, like even though it's not always going to be easy, it'll be something that I like have some sort of motivation behind to like actually keep doing, versus
Something
me
worthwhile.
just like thinking about doing it and then never doing it, and then it's like a constant like battle, and then it just I never exercise the creative side,
the left side.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, this has been lovely. What's your like, what's the word, departing pieces of advice for anyone, whether they're again, which we've talked about 2 years ago, but moving across the country or wanting to live alone, just anyone to their early mid-20s or above.
Regardless of whether you live alone or not, it's important to take time to at least have some time to yourself to figure out what you like. So then when you're interacting with your friends, you feel like you have your own identity and like your own contributions to things and things like that. I think it's really important to do that, which is something I'm still trying to find. Like it's very much like just because the transition between college to your adulthood, you're just kind of like, you're all kind of doing the same stuff. You're just kind of like, oh, I'm trying to figure out my job and how to navigate this and moving and just like all those typical things. So I think that's really important, and it helps you like take the time to figure out what you like to do, and just think about things aside from getting too in the weeds with the day-to-day things. And I also think it's really like something I've been trying to do is just be very, very grateful for everything, but be very like acknowledge all the little things, because it's really easy if there's like something that I'm stressed about or not like loving in my life, certain things, that like that doesn't have to take over my entire day, because it was at a point where like I was letting it just like consume my entire day and life, and like time with friends and time with Michael. Like I was still just like only thinking about just like, oh, I need to change this and this isn't working, and like I hate what's happening. And so like just trying to take very much like compartmentalize, which is something I'm practicing, of trying to make the transition between things more intentional. And so I think it's like that's a important piece of just like trying to be very like positive and compassionate towards yourself and other people. And I think like when you practice that, it becomes very natural to that like things become a positive factor in your life,
and like experience.
And so you genuinely enjoy the experience and feel more present, versus like feeling like you were just removed from the situation and just like thinking in your own world about like, oh, I'm like so stressed about this, I'm so like unhappy about this or whatever. So yeah, I think that's really important. And then
it's okay, the ones you gave were good. I liked your note about like when you find out what you like to do, you can contribute
exactly
to like life, because you also like meet so many other people that like those things. Like obviously reading which is wonderful for the world, reading's become more normal, and like everyone's reading now.
It's like became like a group thing, like everyone's just like, oh yeah, like I want to do that.
Whereas
too.
Before there were for sure people that read that were probably like,
so even if like people have the same interests, it's always good to like provide your side or your perspective or your recommendations on books or whatever it is. Oh, the other thing was kind of along the lines of like no one actually has things figured out, or like if you don't feel like you have things figured out, and especially in your 20s, like trust me, no one does. But also like it's almost a good thing. Like first of all, the really bad things, they'll pass, and second of all, like the things that you're maybe scared of can sometimes be like the best things. So there's like the fear of things and like being scared of stuff, but those can end up being really, really exciting. And just like pushing yourself to either do those things. But just, yeah, sometimes if you just don't feel like certain about all your path and stuff, like that's okay, which is like something removing control of my life has been very scary, but that I think it's so important, like what Giggly Squad, like that episode was talking about, of just like, it's fine if things don't go exactly the way you like wanted it to, or like had it planned or visioned it, because sometimes it's a better version of like like whatever ends up happening is sometimes a better version of what you thought. So yeah,
shout out Giggly Squad, we love you.
Yes, love Giggly Squad, everyone check them out.
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, Caroline is a type A overthinker.
Yes, very much.
Stress ball sometimes.
It's scary being in my brain. My sister's like, oh my God, I don't know how you do that.
Like, get out.
Yes, so I'm trying to get out of there. Trust me.
But you're very wise.
Yes.
You'll be fine.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope I don't combust one day.
Like, you're going to walk in one day and your head's just going to like, like a little cartoon.
Yes, I just... Caroline, have more fun. Let go.
You're having fun.
I'm having so much fun. Yes. Which I do, but it's just, let myself like be a little like, come on, chill out for a sec.
Just relax.
Maybe
you should get a massage.
Oh, I hate massages. I'm sorry.
Why?
Yeah. Because they tickle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I am also, similar.
I don't know what it is. It's like the muscles in my back, like if you,
it's because you're also it's like a double negative, because it's like when I got a massage forever ago, she was like, you are by far the tickliest client I've ever had, like, but it's also like you're ticklish because we're tense. Well,
no, I like, because for me at least, I don't know, my sister and Michael, like they're the type to be like, oh my gosh, I have this huge knot here and I'm so tight here and I'm blah blah blah, and they'll like, I'll be like, wait, check my back because maybe like I want to see if I have some. Don't tickle me. But
I think we're a different kind of tense, though.
I've literally decided that I think they're like, you never have any knots. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, y'all hold all of your tension in your back and shoulders.
Do we hold ours in our brain?
Mine's up here. Don't worry. Like mine is right up here. I get to stress and be tense in my head. And hers,
it is a muscle. So.
Like it's just a different way of like, I guess, releasing it. Like it's just, mine's up in my brain, and then
I've never had like a knot in my back or anything.
Like I don't tense up like physically. I'm sure like certain people do, if you know, like certain people with anxiety like tense their jaw and like tense up, but I think mine is very much just internal. It's weird.
We love it.
Okay, our brains are such a powerful thing.
No, it's crazy. Okay, well,
yay.
Thanks
for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
I hope I could provide some sort of insight about my life if anyone's interested.
It was wonderful. You have such a like calm, soothing voice too.
Oh my gosh, that's very nice, because you know everyone hates like hearing their own voice. I know. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see. Yay, okay. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening to this episode. Please go like, subscribe,
leave a review and
comment, say how much you love my episode, and also get those numbers up. You got to surpass my
episode number 2.
And
this will be 56 or 57
listens. Is that what it is? Yeah, because I guess you didn't do video initially, but go get those listens up. Get your money up.
Yeah. And follow along at Phone Eats First Pod on Instagram and YouTube, and Corey _ on the kitchen. Whoa. On the kitchen. Corey _ in the kitchen.
In that kitchen.
On Instagram and TikTok. And Carol Wag.
I don't know what is it?
Caroline Wagner
I think
9.
It's Caroline K. Wagner. Or it could be... I think it could just be Caroline _ Wagner 9.
She has pigtails in her little profile picture.
Oh, when I was little.
It's a little girl.
It's a little girl that is a random little girl. Never seen her before. No, it's me.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Ta-ta.
Bye, everyone.
You are listening to Phone Eats First.